Thank you, Peter. Mark Coyne takes St George out in front of the home crowd at Jubilee Oval. Not a bad crowd in for our Easter Monday Rugby League. 5 days in a row. And here's the St George side. Chris Quinn, then Walford, Coyne, Damien Smith, Donnelly, Mundine, Goldthorpe, Ward, Bartram, Stone, Thompson, Barnhill and Jeff Hardy. David Waite is the coach. And, of course, glad to have Noel Goldthorpe back in the number 7. David Barnhill, one of the veterans and State of Origin representative for St George. And some reasonably new faces in their lineup, including the number 8, Colin Ward. And, of course, Anthony Mundine is back. Jeff Hardy at the back of the scrum today. Very talented player, very versatile. Beautiful day in Sydney. Hardly a cloud to be seen. And, of course, a very pretty picture looking down over Botany Bay towards Kurnell. The opponents, Newcastle, now leaving the sheds behind their captain, Paul Harrigan. The Knights boasting, of course, a very strong forward pack. And then behind them, 2 of the most talented footballers anywhere in the world of rugby league. Here's their list. O'Davis at fullback, and then Albert, Ainscough, Grogan, Hodge, the Johns brothers, Grief, Jackson, Harrigan, Marquette, Muir and Glanville. Malcolm Reilly is the coach. Peter and Paul in the commentary box with us as Wayne Bartram starts for St George. Running into a breeze that's probably about a 4-pointer at the very most. And Glanville for Newcastle feels the St George defence the first time. The number 12 is Adam Muir. Win and goal jumper behind him in his career already. And now Grief, Parramatta Junior, who went to Western Suburbs, as I said, and I think will be a fine acquisition for Newcastle with him and Jackson. They have built up in the forwards. Andrew Johns now tries to slide away from the St George defence. Many of them involved, and of course their plan will be to put pressure on the Johns brothers. Matthews' kick has gone straight to Chris Quinn, and the St George fullback pulled down about 8 metres on his own side of halfway. As Jason Donnelly is brought down now, right on the halfway line, and the penalty goes to Newcastle. Harrigan, Jackson, Andrew Johns, and then Paul Marquette. Just outside the 20-metre line. Glanville back, Jackson away, Andrew Johns on, Matthew with it, short ball, and Newcastle through Adam Muir go across to Albert. Out on the wing, Darren Albert. Now they're 18 metres out from the line. Juggled by Matthew Johns, then Andrew. And St George come up and try and shut him down. Matthew. 18 metres out from the Dragons line. 5 tackles gone. Will they use the kick? They do. They go high and across. And they're all onside. The bounce favours Newcastle. Glanville gets it out for Hodge. Hodge back for Ainscough. Ainscough kicks. Oh, one of the Newcastle players was going through. He's run into a St George player. And now Damien Smith does well to get it back.
Oh, that's brilliant work by the young centre. He was actually injured at the other end of the field not that long ago. Still looks a bit dusty getting to his feet now, but to get back into the field of play is an enormous play. And now another penalty to the St George team even makes it look better. There's the kick from Ainscough. It was the last tackle. There you saw the collision between the Newcastle chaser. The St George player really didn't move far. And look at this footwork. Great stuff.
Yeah, Pete, he scored one of the best tries I've seen for quite a long time for a kid last week against the Sharks. He ran 50 metres, beat 4 of them. So he's obviously got some talent.
Just watching that incident where the St George player came in contact with Lee Jackson. There's no doubt the St George player did move a couple of metres to get in the road of Jackson. It could have well been a Newcastle penalty. This is Bartram. They're outnumbered on the left. They've got to go to the right. And it's Ward 12 metres into Newcastle's territory. From Goldthorpe, it's gone away. The number 10 is Troy Stone.
Mark Bell on for St George. Damien Smith has left the field.
Now, Jeff Hardy. 30-metre line. Back to the left. Goldthorpe. And into the air. Bell is going fast. Came off the hand, I think, of one of the Knights. It'll be a line drop out to restart. Well, they've mixed up their attack. No score, though. St George and Newcastle, 12 minutes gone. So back with the line drop out. It's not a good one off the boot of Andrew Johns. St George will make the first tackle 28 metres out from the opposition line. Long ball from Goldthorpe finds Mundine. Barnhill tries to angle back in between the centres. Mundine. "15 metres out. They've had most of the territory. Barnhill. Mundine. Goldthorpe out at 5/8. Try to put Troy Stone through a gap out wide. Big man running a small man. 5 tackles gone. Goldthorpe again. He peppers them with the kick. He's been criticised in this match so far, but that was absolutely marvellous. 35 metres out from their line now.
Yes, you can understand some... Oh, he's an intercept. Take
Yes, they won't catch him. Walford's away. Ricky Walford intercepts and runs 30 metres to score. Well, they've tried every tactic in the book, and then all of a sudden, Lady Luck smiled on them. And if Walford doesn't take this, there could have been huge problems for St George.
And it was an Andrew Johns pass which didn't find its mark for his team. And after 14 minutes, St George, they'd had all of this game, and really they had to have put some points on. We didn't think it was going to be an intercept. And Andrew Johns, he just caught and passed and really didn't look until it was too late. And Ricky Walford up in amongst the opposition attack, plucked the ball out and under the posts.
15th season of first grade for Ricky Walford. Bartram from right in front. And St George leads 6 points to nothing. So Newcastle's Bill Peden now is 29 metres out from his own line.
It's been a mass change because Marquette and Harrigan have also left. Butterfield and Tracy also out there. It's big Butterfield taking it 45 metres out, and they're the kind of charges that they need just to get back on track at the moment.
John's brothers. Oh, what a pass! This is Grogan. He's looking for his winger. His winger's a mile behind him. Grogan, he does it himself. What a pass by Matthew Johns.
Absolutely brilliant work there from Matthew Johns. A little reverse flick pass. Brett Grogan, he had a bit of work to do. He was waiting for his winger. Really needed to just put the pedal down and go for himself, and that's eventually what he did. Look at this. Great strength to get through too. The little pass, line ball, but Grogan was on the fly. He's waiting for his winger to arrive. Decided to take Quinn on the outside. Quinn couldn't come up with a tackle. Pushed off Donnelly. That's just a great try.
And they did at last give themselves some depth. He came from a long way back, did Grogan. It's a wonderful pass. And then it's good to see a player get into the open, decide to take the fullback on. Lots of players might have hung around and waited for someone to catch up, but he took him on, beat him point blank, and over he goes. He's got some talent, Grogan.
Well, if that's an indication of his talent, he's got plenty of it. But his winger, I don't know whether he was out of position or whether he didn't have enough pace to get with him. So eventually he said, I'll do it myself. Andrew Johns, 20 metres out, 10 metres in from touch. The breeze directly across the flight path. Struck it beautifully, didn't he? Flags go up, and the scoreboard is level. 23rd minute, 6 points all. Again today, if you're watching us through Optus Vision, we welcome you. We hope you're enjoying the telecast. 6 points all. We've had some great football over the weekend. 23 minutes gone. As Bartram starts for Newcastle. Glanville was the man that brought it back. That looks like Tracy. Adam Muir. He's lost it. Has he? Well, he was able to hang on to it. I thought for a moment the St George player had it. One of the Johns brothers putting it down on the 20-metre line. Jason Donnelly.
That's great wing play from Jason Donnelly. Going infield to take a pass off Chris Quinn. Probably only picked up an extra 5 or 6 metres, but under those circumstances, good enthusiastic work. Oh, and so is that from Andrew Johns on Jeff Hardy.
Mundy. It's Bartram. Is Jeff Hardy being taken by Andrew Johns, and Jeff paid the penalty for being flat-footed. Mind you, he wasn't expecting the pass in that situation. Colin Ward. 5 gone for St George. They've barely gone 20 metres ahead. Mundine steps around Johns, turns it inside for Mark Bell. Bell gets the pass away. Coyne, his pass might have been knocked down by Newcastle. It was, but then there's been another knock-on.
Oh, what a shame for St George. Great play on the last tackle, keeping the ball alive. Jamie Ainscow was the man who knocked the ball down when the try was on. It was going towards Noel Goldthorpe, and he had support on the inside. Mundine beat Matthew Johns. Great evasive work inside to Bell. Picked up an inside man, and this pass from Mark Coyne knocked down by Ainscow. Unfortunately for St George, there was the knock-on from Goldthorpe, cleaned up by Ainscow.
St George, though, they get the feed. And here's Mundine. They overrun the flight of the ball. It's play on. Hardy! Jeff Hardy scores and brings the crowd to their feet.
Oh, Jeff Hardy's a hero out here at St George. It's an even bigger one now. He's been here a long time. There's a all good lock forward should. He trails up from this scrum. He's walking at the moment, but now he starts to jog. You can see an opportunity. It's a pass gone wrong. Half a break made by Mundine. Puts it on the toe. There's no Newcastle offence. Always going to be a try from there. Wonderful stuff by Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, a couple of the back rows from Newcastle didn't think there was any danger. Mark Glanville came up with the cover defending tackle on Mundine. Robbie O'Davis had come up, and there on the other side, it was only late that the Newcastle players reacted, but Jeff Hardy, he puts the hand up. He realises that that's an important try for his side. And next to the post helps as well. Should be another 6-point lead for them. It's his first try of the season.
They're playing very well, aren't they, St George? And they've got the football. They're controlling it pretty well. The problem they had last week was they kept dropping it in third, fourth tackle and didn't complete their sets of 6. They're doing that today. And they showed they've got plenty of ability when they want to throw this football around through Goldthorpe and Mundine. Yeah, plenty of pace there too in Coyne.
He's causing some problems, Mundine, isn't he, at 5'8". Just got great acceleration. Now looking to get a little bit wide, and he's causing some problems. Bartram now.
And Bartram converting the Jeff Hardy try, and St George leading Newcastle after 27 minutes by 12 points to 6. And another look at the try. Mundine's pass went backwards, and Hardy remained alert. The same could not be said for some of the Newcastle back rowers. And so St George again in the lead on their own.
That didn't include Billy Peden as Luke Felch takes the ball out. Billy Peden dived at the football. He couldn't come up with everything. Just fell nicely for St George after the initial pass went astray.
Hardy put away by Peden. Peden in 14. Mass interchanges have occurred. Colin Ward offloading for Mundine. And he's the name on everybody's lips at the moment. He's going punch for punch with the Johns brothers. And there's a good driving tackle by Billy Peden.
He had 3 on 4 players hanging off from Mundine. He was still able to get a quick play the ball going.
And Goldthorpe. O'Davis comes back. And Robbie O'Davis not to be outdone. When it comes to a touch of the light, fantastic. Peden almost goes straight through. And the penalty goes to Newcastle. (12-6) the score. 3 tries. And that was touched before it went over the sideline. So a scrum rather than a tap to restart. But Newcastle has the loose head and feed.
I just think that's a reflection of the way Newcastle are playing this game. Trying to hurry things a little bit too much. Not concerned enough about their execution. Andrew Johns just rushing up, trying to get the kick going. Fortunately for him, it was deep enough to get over the head of Walford, who's still got a touch on it. They need to just settle down into this match, Newcastle.
They come across for Grogan. Try scorer for Newcastle. In fact, it was more than just a try. It was a classic. Beautiful pass. That's forward from Muir. Andrew Johns gave a good ball to Adam Muir. But then the next pass was forward. No doubts about it.
Good defence here from St George. Newcastle tried a ploy of hitting it to the centre of the field from the scrum and taking it straight back. Plenty of St George defence there, which forced a bad pass in the end.
Noel Goldthorpe again. He came up with the tackle and then got off his off the ground to come up with a second tackle. There's young Thompson leaving the field. Good ovation from the crowd. Worked very hard out there, and a bit of a confrontation here in the front row.
The 14 is Luke Felch. So 30 metres out from the St George line. Give or take a couple of old hard heads. The younger members of the Newcastle pack, of the St George pack, are matching it with this awesome Newcastle forward line. Coyne plays it for Walford. Goldthorpe long pass for Mundine. Hardy is lurking. Mundine fending. 40 metres away from his own line. And Newcastle inside the 10.
Well, at least referee Mick Lewis is being consistent in his rulings, isn't he? Penalising both sides for the same infringements.
Sideline with Steve. Yes, Steve.
Yes, I know you've already given Noel Goldthorpe a rap for his attacking ability, but his talk in the St George side is invaluable. Just from behind, talking to his troop, rallying them.
Felch. Hardy a dummy half. Barnhill. Marcus left early and they both went left. Hardy again. Goldthorpe. Through to Mundine. Now Bartram. Glanville taking him out. They stack the blind side. Mundine offers it off now for Felch. Solid tackle on the youngster. Tony Butterfield put him away. Colin Ward. Chris Quinn. 7 metres out, tackle 5. and swept away there for the ball to be rolled. Oh, Ainscow has come away with it. He's got a long run, 50 metres to go, but there's nobody closing the gap, and Ainscow runs 100 metres to score for Newcastle.
Well, that's got to break your heart. St George throwing everything at Newcastle. Looked like they might have run in their third try, and the kick was beautifully read by Jamie Ainscow. Got himself in a position to catch it on the full. It was a slips catch, and straight away he was in behind the line. Jeff Hardy getting the ball away from dummy half. Kick across field, straight into the arms of Ainscow, around his man. As soon as that was achieved, it was open spaces.
Jamie Ainscow, he broke a 5-year-old record for tries in a season. He scored 17 last year, and he scores that try some 95 metres.
Yeah, Brad Smith, the man who kicked the football. It's just unlucky. I mean, there's no fullback because Chris Quinn on the other side of the field, actually he might have played the football, I'm not sure, but you know, he wasn't there in cover defence and no one had dropped back in cover. That's something they'll learn from St George. You always need someone back there, maybe the opposite winger, just covering the football field for a mistake.
It was only a short side, wasn't it? There were a lot of defenders there from Newcastle. In fact, they probably had more defenders than attackers. Usually after the event, but kick might have been better up high or back to the open side. Andrew Johns now an opportunity to level the scores once again.
Friday night we'll be at Suncorp Stadium in Brisbane for the clash of the two locals. Crushers and the Broncos. Promises to be a sellout crowd at Suncorp on Friday. As Andrew Johns, with the breeze right behind him, converts the try scored by Jamie Ainscow. So 2 intercept tries and the scoreboard at 12-all after 34 minutes. Hard to gauge just how effective this Newcastle three-quarter line is, because probably not more than once or twice have we seen it in action. Most of their plays, when they do go to the three quarters, are aimed at a second rower out wide.
Nice tackle there by Grogan, good chase. Well, you might think that after having had one success there with just a normal straight backline play, a bit of skill from Johns and some pace from Grogan, that they might use their backline a lot more. Predominantly a forwards game by Newcastle today, which is probably just about always the case for them. Well, a good run by Phelps and well hit.
Jeff Hardy, 10-metre gain away from Thompson for Smith, and then back for Quinn. Inside, and it's forward. I was about to say that Coyne was on his way, but Mick Lewis had a perfect view of it.
Yes, another mistake made by St George. No luck there, but Chris Quinn's had a pretty good game. He's very quick off the mark, isn't he? Mark Coyne backing up well. He's had a lot better game today than last week. We've got a blood bin for Newcastle. Bustling Billy Peden. He's got a gash.
So, and he's set. Oh, that's a lovely tackle.
That's just beautiful stuff.
Well, that fullback has really ended off a magnificent first half. Chris Quinn. Copybook tackle. 12 points all. 2 tries apiece. And as I said earlier, very much an arm wrestle. First one, then the other. 12 all at Cogra. First half. Mick Lewis just checking with the opposite captains. Scoreboard level then. We set our watches, 40 minutes to go. And St George, can they keep it going? They came into this match very much as the underdog. Walford comes off his right wing to take one of these plays. Goldthorpe fending away. Chris Quinn, the fullback. He's only slightly built, but he's not afraid to get involved, and he doesn't mind going through heavy traffic. So St George are out to the 40-metre line on their fourth tackle. And now they're beyond that. With Smith it was. Now Mundine, a neat little kick, a regather by Hardy. Picked up, it'll be a knock-on against Newcastle. I was about to say that he will nullify the tackle count. St George had 6 more tackles had they have come up with it.
Beautiful piece of skill here by Mundine. Look at that. Into the gap, and Hardy was there right beside him. Yes, it has come off the winger's Albert, his hands, so this is a feed to St George.
Could almost been called an offside against Lee Jackson there. He picked the football up in front of the man who last touched it, which was one of his teammates. Goldthorpe feeds and wins the scrum, goes to Mundine, who throws the cutout. Mark Coyne can't beat the tackle of Robbie O'Davis.
So 1 tackle gone on this set. And Goldthorpe continuing to probe. Bartram it was that took the second tackle. Now Colin Ward. They're 5 metres out on the 3rd tackle. This is the 4th. They come around the back to Mundine. Then they go back for Chris Quinn. A decoy was given by Thompson. Coyne back to him now. 10 metres out from the line, looking to get rid of it. 4 tackles gone now. Quinn into the hands of Goldthorpe. A face ball across for Jeff Hardy. 5 tackles are gone. Centre of the ground, Goldthorpe comes back to the right. Mundine goes across and high, and a contest for the ball. It's gone over the sideline. And the referee...
Well, they've called play on, but Touchos hasn't reacted at all.
He's out 5 metres, that one. He's just brushed it and said play on.
Well, before we're too critical, let's have a look at what has happened here. Was the player that rakes it back into the ground, did he leave the field of play to do what he did? And that picture is inconclusive. Mark Coyne now. 15 for Newcastle is Butterfield. Let's go for a half-time look at the game. To the sideline, Steve Roach hold the phone. Now, here's Robbie O'Davis knocking on, and a scrum will go down. Walford one more time. The 2 wingers, Donnelly and Walford, combining there. Wayne Bartram is living out wide. Coyne. Coach David Waite using the utility value of Wayne Bartram today.
Needed to look there. There was some space out wide. Wasn't seen by Luke Felsh. Keeping the ball alive. Thompson, he's got Goldthorpe up the middle.
Goldthorpe goes inside the 30-metre line. Chances a flick pass. Hardy's there now. Quinn will score. Chris Quinn gets a try for St George. And boy, oh boy, didn't he deserve it. 16 to 12, the Dragons in front.
The Dragons have gone to the fringe of the ruck, but up the middle they're causing all sorts of problems. Spinning out, Lance Thompson. Some lazy defence on the far side from Newcastle coming across too late. Goldthorpe, what about the flick? Jeff Hardy there, he attracts 2 and 3. The winger had come in, Andrew Hodge, and that opened up the hole for Chris Quinn. Beautiful interplay between the St George players, but some lazy defence on the other side from the Knights.
Well, you've got the halfback, the lock and the fullback. This is like Billy Smith, Johnny Raper and Graham Langland's fair dinkum. They've turned the clock back 25 years here, and the St George fans have gone berserk. They love it. Saints hit the front, and they're playing very, very well.
Got those 3 out there, they'll win this.
We've always known that he's prone to exaggerate just a little, but I think he has beaten his personal best this time.
But you saw how lackadaisical that Newcastle defence was on the far side. They just stopped off, dropped dead. What was that? Stopped dead and dropped off. I'm going to shut up for a minute.
Yeah, you keep quiet. I'll take it back for a moment. Bartram from 21 metres out, 9 metres in from touch. I tell you what, though, when things are running for you, you can almost do anything. Bartram's kick hits the upright. So they fail to add any further points, but 16-12 is keeping the fans happy after 48 minutes. 38 metres out from the Newcastle line. A Stone picks up 10 metres, and that is the end of 5 tackles. So Goldthorpe comes in to take over and puts the high kick in. And Robbie O'Davis, in his own brand of spectacular football. Paul Marquette, good run by the second rower. Now Glenn Grief, they've got a roll going. Nearly to the halfway, trailing by 4, the Knights. Muir. A good man to stay with. He'll always get a pass off if he can. The Johns brothers. St George's defence is coming up quick out wide. They're trying to harness the Johns brothers. Herd them back in if they can. Andrews' kick finds the line. Scrum will go down.
Yeah, one thing Newcastle have lacked today is dummy half running. Lee Jackson's one of the most lethal dummy half runners we've seen when he was playing for Great Britain and for South Sydney last year, but he hasn't run once in anger today. And, you know, I would think Malcolm really would expect maybe the Johns boys even to get in there and have a skirt around the rucks.
I think that's been a bit of a reflection on the fact that they haven't played the ball particularly quickly. Fatty, they're being held down by St George, and it was only in that set of 6 there where Marquette and then Glenn Grief got a bit of a roll on, but they were able to take advantage of it. Play the ball hasn't been anywhere near as quick as we've seen in the past when they really have got some momentum.
Here's their captain, Mark Coyne. He's been well marked today. Coyne, they've concentrated very much on shutting him down, which has probably given some of the less illustrious names a chance to rise to the top. And here is Stone, a big galloping run down towards halfway. Well, haven't they built in confidence, the young forward?
Well, that was an awful miss from Lee Jackson. He's really struggling out there. I don't know whether it's the heat or not.
He might still be concussed, Peter. Blocker did say he thought he was concussed early in the day.
Well, that tackle, or attempted tackle there. Have a look at this. That's unforgivable from a man of his ability.
Yeah, just not committing himself to putting the man on the ground. He's made 9 tackles and missed 3 so far today. Colin Ward now, he's had a fine game.
Goldthorpe. Pick up a second man play. Bartram did well. Mundine bats the ball on. Barnhill gives it on. This is the centre. Smith. Damien Smith, tried to trample over O'Davis. Almost succeeded in doing so. Now it's with Goldthorpe.
Conversion live. Lee Jackson missing the tackle once again, but they were just out on their feet, Newcastle. They've been trying to stop the football, unable to do so. St George keeping the ball alive. They score a simple try in the end, but it was the lead-up that got them over the line. And
a super play of the ball by Mundine. He played it quickly and walked forward. Took a couple out of the way, and Bartram saw the open spaces, and another miss by Jackson, not having a happy day. Bartram will attempt to convert his own try. Of course, he's a former back rower with the Gold Coast side. He's got a mile of pace.
And he was involved in the play that got them close to the line. About 3 earlier, he was able to swivel and keep the ball alive, and that opened up some space on the left-hand side of the field. We saw Damien Smith feature prominently, tried to go over the top of O'Davis and was fairly successful. Have a look at this for a spin and an offload. That's great work. So too from Mundine. And then all of a sudden the big centre comes back in, and they picked up the 20 metres that got them into the danger zone. A couple of rucks later, this side of the field was Bartram again.
So Wayne will try to convert his own try. He's a front runner for the Optus man of the match, $1,000. 2 of the judges at this point prepared to disagree. Bartram converts. So, does that wrap it up for St George? 22-12. The door was shut by Darren Tracy in 16. And Lee Jackson was involved. Colin Ward. There he is, popping the pass. He's taken 3 defencemen out of it. Mundine and Quinn. Out wide is another one of the young forwards. Stone. Oh, he's run straight through them. He's run into the school car park. Troy Stone. We're just talking about these young Lions, and one of them has scored.
And you were talking about how quick he was. Brilliant acceleration to score there, coming back in field. But just great work again. It started with his front row partner, Colin Ward, hitting the line, turning, offloading. There was Goldthorpe. The cutout, again, that caught out the Newcastle defence. Marquette, he was turned inside out. Quick hands from Quinn. The big fend, all the Newcastle defence going the other way. And the big man, Troy Stone, he galloped to the line.
And Newcastle's 25th missed tackle sees St George score another try. Some beautiful interchange of passing there, and Stone just basiled away Robert Grogan and strode over. Beautiful stuff. Should just about wrap it up for them.
Who's Robert Grogan?
Greg's brother, isn't it?
Yeah, the big fend there, and we didn't mention the work done, as he's done all afternoon, Jeff Hardy. Great stuff, keeping the ball alive. And they're just playing so confidently, and these big men are causing the Newcastle defence all sorts of headaches.
So Wayne Bartram will convert the try scored by Troy Stone. Right in front. What's Bartram's personal tally? It's climbing as rapidly as the scoreboard. 28-12. 62nd minute. We'll take a break. Some of the things at Randwick are running as fast as Troy Stone. Now Andrew Johns starts. Oh, well, don't tell me he's human. Chris Quinn. He has been so confident all day. Watch this. So a chance here for Newcastle. There's still enough time. Admittedly, they're 16 points behind and they're not playing well. But this might give them an opportunity. Ainscough across. Grogan! Ooh, desperate stuff. Little confrontation in back play between Ainscough and Chris Quinn. Jackson up for Andrew Johns. The run around. They pick up Peden. Billy Peden put down. Saints defence hasn't really been tested more than a couple of times. Now, this is Darren Tracy out wide. 9 metres out. Matthew Johns. Saints outside backs. They come up an umbrella. And here's a rebound for St George. It's Smith, but he's rounded up. Pulled down 40 metres out from his line. That was Brad Smith. Jeff Hardy joins in. Albert had to come off his wing to make a tackle in the centre. That'll indicate the disarray out there at the moment. He pops a pass away, Thompson, or Colin Ward it was. St George, they're down to the 20-metre line. Here's Donnelly. Look at big Donnelly. Look at him go. Donnelly scores, and look at the face on him.
Oh, it's just a fair dinkum carver. Saints are playing brilliant football. A stroke of luck at the other end of the field. And 4 tackles later, they've made the most of it with Donnelly high-stepping.
This was the little kick attempted by Andrew Johns into the arms of Brad Smith. Robbie O'Davis had the speed to catch him from behind. We saw Glenn Lazarus on Saturday night score a try through the meat of the ruck. Jason Donnelly, the wing, has done exactly that from dummy half, grabbing in defence. The big goose step at the end over the top of Robbie O'Davis. and they do not come any simpler than that. It too was set up by the 3 previous rucks. But have a look how many plays he goes through. There are 3 blokes there all grabbing, and again it was Lee Jackson leading the way. A game that he would prefer to forget. And that wraps it up without any doubt for the Red and Whites.
So Wayne Bartram. 20-0 the second half scoreline.
That's 3 tries in 7 minutes. So the Knights, they've just fallen apart. Paul Harrigan coming to the sideline. He'll come back on shortly. And Wayne Bartram, he's having a field day out there. Some pretty easy kicks at goal, but he just keeps slotting them over.
34-12. Well, look at this crowd. Well, we won't look at the crowd. We'll look at Jason Donnelly. The defence is shocking on occasions from Newcastle, but let's think on the positive side. Probably no club was more affected than St George through all of the Super League drama.
We've got just about 10,000 people here to watch this one on this kind of performance. They will be coming back in droves to Cogra to watch a very competitive football team. I've got to give another rap to Colin Ward, who was involved in the lead up to that last try as well. His offloads along with Troy Stone, it just hasn't been handled by their more illustrious opposition.
This is him again, Colin Ward. Bartram. 25 metres out from his own line. 5 tackles gone. Goldthorpe. And O'Davis brings it back to be tackled by Brad Smith. It's Lee Jackson making one of his very few runs in the game, but in fact it wasn't Jackson, but in fact Hodge, the winger. I've got no doubts there's got to be a reason for Jackson not wanting to run, and his defence has been ordinary. This is Tracy now. That was knocked down by St George. 6 more. Robbie O'Davis.
The Saints unlucky not to get a penalty there with Smith, I felt, was held out of the play trying to get to the football.
Even the Johns brothers have looked frustrated at times. A word that they don't really understand. Knocked on by Walford. 34-12.
There's one halfback throwing a pass, is knocked down. Another halfback leaving the field to a standing ovation. Old Goldthorpe coming from the field after a magnificent performance. Ben Custo in 17, the new number, or the new halfback out there for the St George team. And I think that's an indication that David Waite believes this game is now won, and an opportunity to get some more experience for a young player out there.
So Newcastle now out to Andrew Johns in the centres. Inside for Marquette, he'll score. Marquette scores. But again, the brilliance of Andrew Johns.
Yes, as per usual, anything that happens on the Newcastle side comes from one of the Johns boys. On this occasion, it's Andrew Johns. He set up the try for Grogan earlier. This is a nice move by him. Gets on the outside of his man. There, creates the gap for Marquette, and Chris Quinn, well, he was 1,000,000 there, never even got near him.
Yes, late in the game, again, a little bit of lazy defence on the inside. It's a big man. I think it might be Brad Smith who reacts too late. He can't get to Marquette, who was on the fly, and he was going to be unstoppable that close to the line.
I'll tell you something, and it might mean nothing, but Andrew Johns that time was well wide of the ruck, and he was potent in that position, wide of the ruck, away from the traffic, and he had little trouble in opening them up. 34-18. Watch it. It's a long pass. It's gone to Andrew at least 30 metres away from the play the ball. And operating out there in that corridor, he was able to get in behind them and put Marquette away. Sideline comments, Stephen Roach.
Yeah, we were talking about the St George young forwards before, considering what a great effort this is, considering they haven't got Nathan Brown, Jason Stevens, Gordon Tallis, and also injured is Scott Goulet, and also their halfback who's just come off, Noel Goldthorpe, hasn't played for 2 months.
Is that a confident look on the face of Coach David Waite?
I think that's the reason why he's down here, mate.
Isn't it nice to see a coach smiling? This is not meant to be a sarcastic comment, but I'm wondering, of the St George fans, how many of them are thinking of the players that are embroiled in court cases not wanting to come back to St George? I wonder how many are here watching and not even thinking about them. I mean, they're all very fine players, but right now the new brigade is taking their opportunity. Number 20 for Newcastle. Just get a name on him in a moment. Marquette, Ainscough dances away. It's gone back to Harrigan. It's been picked up by Matthew Johns, and Mundine takes him down 40 metres out.
It's the last tackle now. Number 20 out there is Owen Craigie. Another fine young player is Andrew Johns. Centre field, only one chase, and that's Billy Beeden. But Chris Quinn still had a look at a man who was chasing and offside. So a few blemishes on his performance with the high ball. 8 minutes to go in this game. Chris Quinn, again, he just had a little bit of a look.
Yeah, but surely isn't that a penalty, Peter? Because
Should be.
It was offside. He's put pressure on the bloke. If he's not there, he can take his time and take it easily. This should have been a penalty to St George.
$34 points to 18. They go quickly to Grogan, playing at right centre. That's Jackson. Glanville. The Knights 7 metres away from the St George line. Ainscough got a beautiful pass and will score. That was just a beautiful pass. The big centre. He ran at the gap and the ball was on his chest.
And the Dragons better not think that this game is over, because Newcastle can score quick points, as they've shown in the last 5 minutes. The flat pass here straight through the tackle of Ricky Walford. In fact, Walford, he was still looking at the passer almost to see who he was going to pick out. By the time the pass arrived, Ainscough was through him. This kick goes over. We've got a 10-point ball game. Only 7 left on the clock.
Andrew Johns. And it's gone awkwardly off the boot, but the scoreboard will register 2 points. So 10 points the difference. 34-24.
And all of a sudden, Newcastle get a sniff. It's not impossible. They could score 2 more tries in the time remaining. They've scored 2 in the last 4 minutes. St George, they dropped off, no doubt about it.
The combination of the Johns brothers putting that man, Jamie Ainscough, in for an easy try. Beautifully executed. But for Jamie's part, it was simply a matter of run at the gap. And the ball will be there. Craigie. This is Hodge. Now St George are going to have to pull themselves together, because there's still some 6 minutes left in the game.
And it's no coincidence that David Waite has immediately got Noel Goldthorpe onto the sideline to come back into the game as Harrigan offloads to Craigie. Crowd didn't like it at all. Goldthorpe will be going back out just to get the ship back on track. He'll steer them home. He'll need his experience and a cool head out there in these circumstances.
Newcastle keeping this ball alive. The Johns brothers combining. And Jeff Hardy puts Matthew down.
It's the last tackle. Interesting to see what they'll do here, whether they'll run it or the little one over the top.
Andrew Johns with a selective pass. A ball kicked across the park by Ainscough. It's play on for Jackson. Now for Craigie. Grogan's inside. Albert's outside. Darren Albert is put down out there on the end.
That's first tackle too. Was touched by a St George player.
He nullified the tackle count. And so we're back with Craigie now. Just inside the 20-metre line. 10 points the difference. Matthew Johns floating across the park. Andrew Johns now out from dummy half. Billy Peden is pulled down. 7 metres out from the line.
They're short to the right-hand side.
They go that way. Andrew Johns. It was touched by a Newcastle player. It's a knock-on. One of them got in the road that wasn't in the game plan.
Oh, well, it's taken Newcastle 65 minutes to come to life, but they've played their best football the last 10 minutes or so. It's gone horribly wrong there. There's a chance out wide for them with some clean ball.
Yeah, Paul Marquette there put his hand up, touched the football. Grogan was appealing that he was taken out by his opposing player.
Well, he was, but the infringement had already been made. So Custo works the scrum. Goldthorpe is out there. And they've brought the fullback off, Chris Quinn. But time is now going to beat Newcastle. They have to score and convert twice. And the old heads are now starting to take control. Nothing stupid. This is Thompson. Felch. 5 tackles gone. Goldthorpe will be looking for Mundine, I think, or he's going to do it himself. He keeps it low, drives it into the sideline. And Craigie, with a lot of urgency in what he was doing.
Well, he did a good job there because he's realised that they have to have the ball in play as much as possible. The scrum there would have wasted valuable time. Again, now the Knights will just keep the ball alive at all costs. They can't win this game, but they put a scare in their opposition when that really shouldn't have been the case.
Ainscough and Marquette, the 2 players to handle. And Ainscough, it's more than coincidental, has got highly involved whilst this resurgence has taken place for Newcastle. Highly involved. He is their best 3-quarter. Matthew Johns, a little kick, looking for the regather, but Mundine, like a thief in the night, down to the 20-metre line, stepping away, turning the pass, did he know? He took it to ground, taps it ahead, no markers, and then dances around, finds Walford, Walford comes across, Thompson knocks on, regathers, it'll be a scrum. Oh boy, what a great end to what has been a marvellous weekend for a game that so badly needed something like the injection it's received over Easter. Started on Thursday night at Western Suburbs. Grogan goes down the right of the ground. Albert will move to dummy half. St George getting back the 10 metres. Those legs feeling very heavy now as Adam Muir makes a clean break. Barnhill's after him. Here comes the fullback. Adam Muir tackled 20 metres out from the line. 60 seconds on the clock approximate. They can't win Newcastle, but they're giving their fans every reason not to give up on them. 15 out from the line. Andrew Johns, his brother Matthew. Short pass for Peden, then for Grogan, and Grogan is a metre from the line. Away from Craigie, Matthew Johns, his brother runs the decoy. Here they go again. Ainscough scores his 3rd try. Jamie Ainscough, 3rd try, and the combination of Johns and Ainscough.
Well, Malcolm really will basically say to his team, if they'd have played like they did in the last 15 minutes, they win this game. Take nothing away from St George. They did close up shop, and Adam Muir here, straight through. He only had Lee Jackson on the inside, so he didn't have a speed man there. There's a conversion attempt which is successful. Don't know whether they'll have time to restart here. This is the great work from Matthew Johns again, Paul.
It's almost what could have been for Newcastle had they played with this enthusiasm in the first stanza of the game. They might have had a chance of winning, but full credit to St George. David Waite must be a very proud man. There he is there.
Well, as I said earlier, there would be no club that David would want to coach against and be victorious than Open Newcastle. St George, they've staggered over the line 34-30, and that means that there have been something like 40 points scored in the second half alone. Tremendously exciting. A weekend of rugby league.